Just look at those cute, smiling, happy faces. Yeah, that's us. Welcome to our Sunday gathering, everyone. What makes me happy really is to be here. And we hope that leaving our Sunday gathering, you're in a better place emotionally, physically, all those wonderful things, because you are here today. That's what we aim to do. I'm joined by my beautiful friend, Kerry McLeod, and the most handsome Phil Dykes. We are your trio for our Sunday gathering today. What I'd like to do is pass it over to Phil to talk a little bit about our theme. And I know Kerry will be doing our opening prayer, but I wanted to welcome you.
Thank you so much, Sandra, and for that wonderful introduction as well, with those little pictures, as always, you naughty little thing. Any little bit of excuse to work a little bit of magic in, our Sandra does that for us. So thank you. Today is all about those good feelings. It's all about counting those blessings that we have in life that we really should pay and have gratitude for, because those blessings can be absolutely everything or anything. So as the song said, be happy, okay? Make the most of life. That's what this Sunday gathering is really about. Those blessings for what we have in our lives and the people that we have in our lives, and we share those moments with them. And what we've got for you today is the usual rundown. We've got the wonderful Sandra Champlain doing everything in the background as well, and also where we're going to be looking at the reading and the healing from Sandra. So watch out for that magnificent story that she always tells. Wonderful orator. We also have myself and Kerry doing the address and the mediumship, and also myself and Kerry doing the prayers. And Kerry's going to do the opening prayer for us.
Thank you very much. If we can start our Sunday gathering in the usual manner with prayer. Divine, ever-present Spirit, today as we enter into the Sunday gathering with that thankfulness within our hearts, that gratitude for the blessings that are in our day. For when we look for our blessings, we notice what to be grateful for. When we are looking for things to take that happiness, that's what we'll find. So today we allow ourselves to bathe in that beauty of blessings, hope, healing, and joy. Allow us to feel our loved ones watch and partake in the Sunday gathering with us, so that we can, through the whole period of the Sunday gathering, sit with our loved ones and friends, both seen and unseen, and allow ourselves to become more present and aware of a world unseen that is always with us, always reaching out to communicate with us, and always supporting us. Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kerry. And yes, another great reading. I'm grateful for the internet because I do a little search, all kinds of ideas pop up. If they make a difference for me, I hope they make a difference for you. What I'm about to read is a post originally published on Rabbi Evan's blog. He believes in uncovering the hidden treasure of the Old Testament and Jewish wisdom to enrich the lives of everyone. He's the author of the book called Words of Wisdom from the Torah to Today. So Rabbi Evans says, counting our blessings is not something that always comes naturally to us. It's often easier to count our problems. We are late on a project, or our house needs work. If, God forbid, we have a serious health problem or lose our job, it can consume us. Focusing on our problems, we sometimes overlook our blessings. As a father, I know I do this. I complain that my kids do not go to sleep on time much more often than I express gratitude for being blessed with healthy and happy kids. Sometimes we need a little push to remind us of our blessings. That is the lesson of a beautiful Yiddish story about a man who lived in a one-room hut with his mother, his wife, and his 6 children. The hut, as we can imagine, was filled with crying and quarreling. It was noisy and hard to live. One day, When he felt he just couldn't take it anymore, the man went to his rabbi. Rabbi, he said, things are getting bad and they're getting worse. I live in a one-room house with my mother, wife, and 6 children. It is just too crowded and too noisy. Will you help me find some peace, Rabbi? I will do whatever you say. The rabbi thought for a moment and he asked, do you have a chicken? Yes, of course I do, the man replied. Good, said the rabbi. Take the chicken and bring it into your home. Well, okay, said the man, though he was a little bit surprised. Imagine what the house sounded like now with the chicken in there. In addition to the man, his mother, his wife, and 6 children, there was a chicken clucking constantly. Frustrated, the man returned to the rabbi. Rabbi, I did what you said, and it's much worse than before. Will you help me, please? Tell me, the rabbi asked, do you have a goat? Yes, I do, the man replied. Excellent, said the rabbi. Go home and bring in the goat to live with you. A couple of days later, life in the hut was even worse. There was crying, quarreling, clucking, and a goat pushing and butting everyone with his horns. The man returned to the rabbi. To his shock, the rabbi then instructed him to bring his cow into the hut. This rabbi must be crazy, the man thought. But he did as the rabbi instructed. The house became an utter chaos. When he returned to the rabbi for the 4th time, the man screamed, "Help me, Rabbi! The end of the world has come. There is no room in my house for me even to breathe." The rabbi listened and said, "Go home now, my friend, and let the animals out of your hut." The man rushed home and did so. That night was the sweetest and most relaxing night he had ever had. Every member of the family slept comfortably and peacefully. When he returned to the rabbi, the man said, "Rabbi, you have made life sweet for me. With just my family in the hut, it is so quiet, so roomy, so peaceful. What a blessing." What a blessing for sure. When we feel overwhelmed, we can gain perspective by counting the blessings we enjoy each and every day. Great reading. We're going to move into our healing now, and it's an opportunity for those in the unseen world to use our energy and send it where it's needed in the world. And certainly when we offer our energy, some stays within us. As we know, we have members of our community that really need some healing. You also have people in your lives that do. And of course, there's the animal kingdom and places on our earth right now that are really in tough shape. They really are. But instead of looking for what's wrong, as we listen to this song, let's count the blessings. It's a wonderful world, and see the people in it healthy, whole, happy, complete. The situations in the world, people loving and being joyous together, and the world just thriving. And as you imagine all that and send that love out, we're going to listen to What a Wonderful World. So here is our healing song. And when we come back, we will hear from Kerry and Phil for our address.
I almost just want to say, oh, yay. It's a beautiful song, isn't it? And a beautiful song to be able to send healing out to those that you know and those that you don't know as well. Blessings. What a theme.
Mm-hmm.
How fitting. It's something we don't always think about. If you take a look at, I don't know if you watch a lot of television, but if you go to that channel that's called the news channel, they start off by saying, good evening. And then they proceed to tell you every single reason why it isn't a good evening. There's very rarely good news on there because good news doesn't sell, does it? Can it be the same for blessings? Blessings aren't worth talking about or appreciating or noticing. We get stuck perhaps in the negative, looking at things that never turned out the way we wanted, asking, why did that happen to me? Or what is this all about? If we're here on this planet, big philosophical question, to learn, then what would we learn if it was to be really, really easy? I wonder if we are here to learn to look at the blessings in life, even though life is tough, and it is. We all know it's tough. It can have moments where you wonder if you can actually carry on. I'm sure many of you have had thoughts about, why on earth am I here? What am I meant to do? What's the point? If we look at blessings, there's always a point. But we get so stuck on the next thing. Now, this could be a story I've just heard, or you've maybe heard it as well. When we are young people, we just can't wait to be grown-ups. You know, that good old age of 16 when you're going to be a grown-up. And then when you're 16, you want to be old enough to be able to do whatever you need to be 18 for. And then when you're 18, you want to be old enough to be able to do whatever a 21-year-old does. And then you maybe meet a partner, you set up a home, you might bring some children, four-legged or two-legged, into your home. And then you start looking at, well, maybe we should go on holiday. Oh, we can't, we've got the children. Life will be so much better when the children go to primary school or kindergarten. Oh, it'll be better when they go to high school. They are there for longer days. Oh, we can do that when the children move out. We'll have so much time on our hands. We'll have so much spare cash. Oh, that didn't work out right. But we'll wait until we retire. Life's so much better when you retire. Oh dear. We found ourselves in the spirit world. Wow, that was quick. All joking aside, don't
Painless too.
Painless. All joking aside, aren't we always looking for the next moment? What's coming next? Putting things off. I wonder if the opposite of blessings are regrets. And what do we regret? Yes, we can regret the things we did, but we learned from them. But I've found I regret the things I never did, the steps I never took, the things I never said, the actions I was too fearful to do, the work I was too afraid to take on. Those are the regrets. And we were speaking this morning about we don't want to live with regrets anymore. We won't know if something works until we try it. Now, we could fail miserably, or we could find another way of doing it incorrectly on the way to doing it well. Very well-known scientist said that. We should be looking at the blessings. But the thing is, blessings are like those good news stories. You have to look really hard for them. You have to pick and choose where you get your news from, who you listen to, which words you seek out, which opinions you think about and listen to. You have to work a bit harder at the blessings, because the regrets and the bad news are there anyway. Don't get stuck regretting wishing, wanting, or waiting. Go out and make a difference. Start by looking at the blessings you have. It might be the cow, the goat, and the chicken have left the room. I love that story. Or it might be something else. Be aware of what's right in front of your nose, metaphorically, and be grateful, be thankful.
Thank you. Do you know, I'm blessed to be sat here talking to you guys as you guys are listening, and blessed to be here with my lovely wife, Kerry, and a really lovely friend in Sandra as well. We have so many things that we can count our blessings for. I have 3 lovely children. I have a mother and father still, and I have brothers and sisters. And each day of each moment, I count my blessings that I have that relationship with them, that we have fun together, that we have a laugh, that we also share hardships as well, because they are moments as well. So when we think about counting our blessings, first of all, we never really do that, do we? Because we're so busy at being busy. We're always trying to be succeeding in life. We're always striving to do something or striving to create a better opportunity, that we fail to see at times what we've actually got. Those wonderful children, those siblings, those brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and grandparents, if we're still lucky to have those, and some lovely, loyal friends as well. And they're the things, when we think of our blessings, that we automatically think of. But actually, we should count our blessings for every foe, every enemy, every person that has done a bad deed. Because believe it or not, those bad deeds have created you who you are. They've made you better. For everything that's happened to me, I've strived to overcome. That I've looked at it and thought, okay, that's their opinion, that's their choice, that's their behavior, whatever they do. But actually, when we think about it, they're instrumental in our lives, because they make us rethink everything. They make us look at what we're doing and how we're doing it and how to be better. So each time we've had that knock by life or somebody in life, we should be grateful to them. We should put a blessing upon their head, because actually they've done us a favor and not let us stay in that comfort zone. We have a saying within the classes and the groups and the progressive groups that we run for development of mediumship. If we're in our comfort zone, then we're going to die. Mediums go to that comfort zone to die. Metaphorically speaking, okay, obviously, because we're beginning to be comfortable at what we're doing. We should always be striving to be better. So we can look at all kinds of things with a different eyesight, with a different perception of life. A comfort zone where we might feel safe. But actually, when we realize what we're doing, it's a bit of a kick up the posterior, isn't it? Because we've got that instruction then to pick ourselves up and be better. So blessings come in all different shapes and sizes, because the more that we can count them, I mean, if we're really honest, let's think back to some of those negative times that we've had and wished at that moment that either the world will swallow us up or disappear, or we go to the spirit world, we get so fed up and depressed and frustrated. But actually, when we look back, they are the instrumental moments that have created change for the better. Now, there are some situations I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Okay, I don't have any enemies. I don't bother or waste my time with people like that. Whatever they choose to do, they do. But I keep in my own lane. I stay true to what I believe. I count my blessings for that. But as we look at those negative situations, they were instrumental in creating the very person or the very people that we are all today. And we do look back and think, wow, that was a horrible time, but actually life has got so much better. Life has changed so much. And even where we can all look back to one particular time that wasn't great for any of us for many, many reasons, that pandemic. where we're all shut inside, where we lost loved ones. But actually, it changed the world and changed how we communicate. It changed how we reach new people. It took us from a belief or a faith to a new audience where people can sit in their own living room listening to mediumship, can listen to people talk about spirituality through the modern wonders of technology. So there's a blessing come from that even. And even where a lot of people now are able to reach so much more. I mean, I remember in the days when we started this Sunday gathering, where we did it as a group of friends and we thought, oh, we'll just help people that we know. It'd be a small community. Then I remember Sandra turning round within a month and saying, did you know that the Sunday gathering reaches 21 different countries? 21 different countries, ladies and gentlemen. And how many thousands? I remember one week, Sandra got in touch with a little message, as we all used to do. And she said, there's over 20,000 people listened. And we went, wow. We were thinking maybe 100, a few hundred at best, when the Zoom room used to be full with 500 people. I remember the very first time we did it. And I actually remember as well, and I said this recently, where people said it could never be done. Well, here we are today. Normal life, isn't it? But what a blessing we had. But even if we look further back at what Sandra's ideas were, she said, why don't we do a theatre event and stream it all over the world? And me and Kerry and the others said, yeah, why not? Then reality hit. But actually, it was a blessing because we started doing other things that led to Zoom, and it led us through that pandemic where we all got together. So there's blessings that come in many shapes and sizes. And sometimes we see them and sometimes we don't. And it's when we don't see them, when something happens, then we start to look back and think, wow, how far we've come, the choices that we've got, the blessings of those opportunities. On the 11th of August, 2015, at 11 a.m. in the morning, I walked out of one of those things called a day job. My choice. I'd had enough. I was frustrated. I saw life not in the best place. And afterwards I thought, I've just thrown a career away of 29 years and a very well-paid career to enter into service, because I thought I'm going to work for the spirit world. I'm going to put myself into service. No idea how it would form. I've been working down the side of my day job, working all over Europe and different places. But at that moment, I didn't have an idea of how it was going to start. But I had a faith. I had a belief. And within a couple of hours, later on that same day in the afternoon, I got a phone call from a wonderful gentleman that offered me an opportunity. That was a blessing, because I've never looked back ever since. So I'm ever so grateful to that one particular gentleman, and always will be within my life. That gentleman knows who he is. But from that blessing, from that blessed moment, there's been many other moments that I feel blessed to have, that I now get to see the world. I now get to see so many people through this one little lens of a camera that's right in front of me. I count every moment as a true blessing. I count every moment I interact with somebody as an even bigger blessing. And a blessing that I'll never, ever get over is those moments where I can share a bit of my knowledge and understanding and wisdom with somebody and watch that blessing grow, that seed grow into what I call that bloom of a flower with a beautiful scent, unique and individual. Ladies and gentlemen, blessings can change our life. They can create moments of pure inspiration. They can create lives. They can create futures. Let's count our blessings and let's look at every opportunity as a blessing and make the most of it. As Kerry said, it was about not every opportunity works out, but it's a blessing we had to have that, but we never know which one will blossom. I'm going to leave you with that thought and say thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kerry and Phil. We're just about to go into our demonstration of mediumship, but I wanted to add just one little tiny thing because I know we've got some members of our community right now that are suffering greatly, finding real difficulty finding even one thing to be grateful for. It is our human nature really to look for what's wrong, not what's right. And as we make a habit of brushing our teeth in the morning, or hopefully we do, we can make a practice of writing down maybe 5 or 10 things that you're grateful for, even if it's breathing fresh air, having a bed to sleep in, drinking fresh water, having food in the refrigerator. Start with the small stuff, feel that feeling of gratitude, and you will start feeling better. So I just wanted to share that with you. As we move into our demonstration today, this is just a joyful time really to give our blessings because there are, I'd say, a lot of people on the earth that believe in the afterlife. We do. We don't necessarily talk openly about it, but very few have an opportunity to really witness good mediumship, joyful interactions between our deceased loved ones and people. And like you see Kerry and Phil and myself being representatives of you guys that are alive in our Sunday gathering. There are not many people that get to experience these beautiful messages that come through from the panelists, I'll call them that, in the spirit world that join our Sunday gathering. So for me, I count those blessings because it's really special and really extraordinary. So this may be your first time at our Sunday gathering, or you may be here before, but I just want to run through how the demonstration works. Kerry and Phil are both longtime mediums, and they're the best tutors of mediumship that I know. They really are incredible. And so they will offer to our community members in the unseen world if they would like to work through them to you and bring through some messages. Who picks the spirit people that come through? We don't know, right? Now, sometimes we don't know where these great ideas for themes come from, but there are people in that unseen world that know. And sometimes there's 1 or 2 of us that need just a little extra love. And maybe that is why these loved ones come through. But if you listen in, very often there's messages that you say, gosh, I really needed to hear that myself. So if that's the case, pull it towards you. Pull it towards you. They are messages for everyone as well. But you can also listen just how close loved ones are. Yes, they have transitioned from this life, but they keep one eye on us, at least one eye, and 1 foot in our world. And so they can continue living and growing and learning and exploring in the spirit world, but they're also with us. So we'll find out how it all works once we get there. But for now, we just trust. So Kerry or Phil, whoever works first, works second, they will invite this person, a person from the spirit world to work with them. Could be a family member, could be a friend, could be somebody we work with, could be somebody distant, but the spirit world knows exactly who's here today. So really listen in because this could be a message from somebody who's been in your life for you. They will do their very best to describe the person that is with them. Could be what they look like, or could be who they are, could be what they do for a living. The spirit world will use everything that Kerry and Phil have. They'll use their own memories, thoughts, feelings, maybe smells, maybe tastes. You never know what they use. And you'll hear them describe this person to you. So we want you to really listen in. If you recognize the information that they've just described about the spirit person as your person, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, this is audience participation time. If you could find that raise hand button on your device and press it, please. If you're on an iPhone or a tablet or something, you might see 3 dots and you might have to press those first before the raise hand button appears. And now, where it used to say raise hand, it will say lower hand. So if you could press it one more time, put your hand down, get a little practice in, burn a calorie or 2. Why this is important is sometimes there's more than one person that can take all the initial bits of information. Kerry or Phil will continue to work with the spirit person so that we narrow it down to one person left with their hand raised. If that person is you, I'm going to press a button on my side. You'll get a little flash on your screen that host would like you to unmute. Now, you don't see that unmute button yet, but you will after I press the button. When you unmute yourself, all we need is one of three simple responses from you. They're going to work to talk about your loved one or the spirit person and give you some evidence. All we need you to say is yes, no, or I don't know. So yes, I understand you. No, that doesn't make sense. Or I'm not sure about that. Yes, no, or I don't know. This is important, not just on our Sunday gathering, but anytime you work with a medium, you want to be sure you leave a demonstration or a one-on-one with a medium that they did the work, that you didn't volunteer all the information about your loved one, leaving you with that question. Did the medium really communicate with my loved one, or did I volunteer all that information? Okay, deal? Deal. Okay, yes, no, or I don't know. We always like to play a feel-good piece of music before we start. Your loved ones surround you anyways, but it's always fun to maybe walk down memory lane, see them in the room, remember some of those joyful times that you spent together, and really count those blessings. So I'm going to play the song, and we will be back with Kerry and Phil. Well, I've got a reason to smile. How about you? Everybody put on a smile. 1, 2, 3.
Cheese.
Oh, over to you guys.
Thank you very much, and a well-chosen song, Phil.
Thank you very much for choosing it.
It is an absolute pleasure to be here. It's one of the highlights and delights are being able to work for the spirit world, whether it be here on the Sunday gathering or on one of our demonstrations. And I know we've got some days in the diary, don't we, Sandra, for some demonstrations of online mediumship. I know that at the moment I have a gentleman with me, and I know he feels very reserved, which is why I was just doing a little bit of talking whilst I got to know him in the background here. I know he would have passed very, very quickly to the spirit world, and there's an incredible sense of him he would have loved the songs today. He was always looking at the positives, always wanting to have that positive impact. Just try. I don't feel this is brother. I actually want to. Okay. And I have a number of people here. Just give me a second whilst I silently call to order. Okay, I do feel that this gentleman is husband. I do have another gentleman coming in though, but I know that husband wants to communicate first. Would somebody understand in our audience a husband in the spirit world who would have been quite quiet, actually, not a centre of attention kind of guy, but that would have had a beautiful sense of humour and would have liked those songs?
Thank you very much, Kerry. All right, we have 3 ladies with their hands raised. 4. Thank you.
Okay. Now, when I said this, Jen, that your husband didn't do a whole lot of talking, I know that he would have spoken within I can't quite get my head around this. Would one of you understand your husband having some difficulty with being able to speak at some point in his life? I feel like I'm not able to get my words out properly.
Thank you. All right, friends, if you can take that information, keep your hand raised. But if your fella did not have difficulty speaking, please put your hand down.
Okay.
Okay, we still have several hands up. Thank you.
And the lady I'm looking for would also understand the name Peter in the spirit world, not husband's name, but the name Peter in spirit.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I know some new hands have gone up. You will have to take all the information that was given, not just this last bit. Okay, so we trust you guys. We have Cynthia and Fusan with their hands raised.
And one of you would also understand another gentleman in the spirit world, but he is not the age of your husband. He's younger.
Okay, we have Fusan with her hand raised. Fusan, if you press your unmute button. Hello.
Hi. Um, I just called in, so I missed the part about the music, but I can take the had difficulty talking and the name Peter in the spirit.
And your husband's in spirit, Fusan.
Yes.
And he would have passed very, very quickly.
Passed quickly? Yes, I can take that.
I mean, a very quick passing.
Yes.
Okay. And Fusan, would you also have a son in the spirit world?
No.
But you understand the young person, the younger man in the spirit world as being very close to you.
I can't take that. No.
I know I've got another young gentleman here. He feels like he is family. I do feel, hang on a second, Fusan. Who else had their hand up, Sandra?
Cynthia. Let's bring her in. Cynthia, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi, Cynthia. Do you understand everything I've said?
The only thing that doesn't relate is Peter, but everything else, yes.
You don't understand Peter in the spirit world?
I mean, biblically I do, but not referring to my husband.
No, but you understand a person called Peter in the spirit world?
Yes.
Okay. You also understand a younger man that's family in the spirit world as well, Cynthia?
Yes. My nephew.
And you knew him very well?
Yes.
Okay, that feels better. I'm sorry for your song. I didn't feel it was quite there, but please, if you can take anything from this contact, please do that. Cynthia, you would know that your husband was not one for making a fuss or getting attention.
Yes.
And I know that he would have done so much behind the scenes. He was a behind the scenes guy.
Yes.
If you needed things set up and if you needed things done, he would say, what can I do to help? And then he would go off and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I know too, Cynthia, with your husband, that he would have, he liked keeping his things around him. I do feel that you've come across things that are years old.
Yes.
And I feel that you have, it gives me this impression he has seen you looking through those things and remembering just how far back these memories go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know with your husband as well that he would have liked to sing as he went around the house and around about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I know he would have also hummed and sung under his breath to the songs in the grocery store or the supermarket.
Yes.
Because even the most mundane chore, he chose to see the good side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, Cynthia, that your husband didn't buy very many clothes for himself.
No, not at all. No.
But I know that whatever was bought for him, he was eternally grateful for.
Yes.
And I know he would have some clothes that were not yet opened. They were still in their packaging.
Yes.
And I also know that the clothes that were in their packaging, he gives me the impression that if something wasn't in the sale, somebody paid too much for it.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Because he used to be tickled by the fact that people would go out of the way to buy things. In fact, Cynthia, your husband would prefer to get something on a couple of days after something like Christmas, knowing that money had been saved.
Yes.
Because they'd got them in the sale.
Mm-hmm.
I know too that your husband would have a very particular place that he would go to for coffee.
Yes.
And I know that it would be a coffee house though.
No.
Then this place he went to for coffee, you would understand it would be on a corner. I'll take that as a no.
No.
Then where you and your husband lived, would you you would know wherever he lived within walking distance of where he worked though.
No.
Then where you are just now, Cynthia, if you went to the end of your street, would you know there would be a coffee house or a small cafe on the corner?
No.
Wonder what he's showing me. Then, Cynthia, you would know where you have recently been sitting in a coffee house or a cafe, because I know he gives me this impression of being there with you.
Does
that not make...
Like down from our house?
No, I feel that you would have walked to this coffee house and sat and had coffee, because it's his way of saying he sees what you're doing.
Huh. I can't think of that right now.
Then where he lived, where you lived, it must have been an area that was outside a city centre or outside the main town.
Yes.
Okay, and there are small independent stores and cafes and restaurants there.
No.
In that area that you live?
No, I live in the country.
Okay.
Kerry, Fusan has her hand raised. I don't know if she's understanding this information, but I just want to let you know.
Okay. Cynthia, can you hang on a second, please? Because I know what I'm seeing very clearly. It doesn't mean I'm not with you.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But it may well be that there's something very strange happening.
Okay.
Rashawn, do you understand what I'm saying in that evidence?
Yes, with the cafe, absolutely. Drinking coffee recently, yeah, at a cafe.
And you would have done that recently?
Oh, yes, in Italy.
Subsequent to your husband passing?
Oh, yes.
Okay. And I know, because I actually feel I'm going to go back to Cynthia after I've been with you, Fason, and then I'll pass over to yourself. I know with your husband, Fason, he wouldn't have been as quiet as Cynthia's husband, because I feel he's got a little bit of a cheekier side to him.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know when he went on holiday, although Cynthia's husband was singing in the grocery store, your husband would sing outside to songs.
I haven't too much, but he absolutely...
Okay. Then when you were on vacation together, I know there would have been a musical band or an orchestra or someplace outside that he would have sung along with that group.
Perhaps once.
Because I know he's given me this impression of that joy, that music, enjoying life. And when you were in Italy, you would have passed groups of people that were singing.
Yes.
I know this is your husband's way of acknowledging he was with you. He saw where you were and he heard your thoughts as well, because you must have spoken to him in those moments. In fact, one of those songs means a lot to your husband and to yourself.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave your husband's love with you, Fason, and say, Cynthia, with your husband, I know that the things that you have looked through and found, I know too that you have taken some photographs out and laid them to the side to organize in a certain manner.
Yes.
And I as you've been looking through them, you must have had thoughts about, do I do it chronologically? Do I do it in terms of holidays? Do I do it? Because I know he's giggling at the fact that things don't change.
Yeah.
And I also know that your husband must have made a very specific kind of meal.
Yes.
I have no idea what it is, but it smells very flavoursome. I also know he wants to acknowledge your nephew being there and for the family to know that all is well, that whatever was with nephew, there is nothing of that is left with him at all.
Okay.
And I know that there is a support and an absolute presence of the spirit world with you at this time. I know your husband wants to make himself known to you today. Not only did you ask him to come, but you must have given him pretty strict orders.
Yes, I did.
Because he wouldn't ever do anything. He would do anything that was within his control to make you happy.
Yes.
And he's still doing that. I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to do that, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry.
Hello, Sandra. Hello, everyone again. Oh, turn this on and that one off. There we go. Can you hear me, Sandra? Okay.
Yes, loud and clear.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So as I become aware of the spirit world, I do believe I've got two people coming forward here. I feel that I firstly have father, and I know his name is John, but I also feel I either have uncle as well. In fact, no, I'm going to change that. I know I have father, he's called John, but I also know I've got a friend called John in the spirit world as well. I've got the two Johns together because I think they're having a laugh at my expense. But I also feel as I work with them, I want to stay with Dad for a second because I feel with Dad, he's quite a positive man. And I also feel with him that he would have, there's a lot of laughing with him, but I also know he would have had that annoying whistle about him. He would have wound people up. So I know he's got that personality to wind people up as well. And I also feel with him that there should be a military connection. I feel like I was in the armed forces. I feel I was in the army as well. So would this make sense to somebody?
Thank you very much, Phil. We have Cynthia with her hand raised. It was just on.
Okay, is that the same Cynthia?
It is. I'm just checking to see if anyone else has their hand raised. Oh, her hand had gone down. Cynthia, could you not? Oh, maybe she was lowering her hand. From
I think that's probably what it is. So I'll go through it again because I know here I have Dad. I feel his name is John. I feel there should be a friend also in the spirit world called John as well because I've got the two Johns together. And I also feel here with Dad, he's got a really good sense of humor, but I know he would have whistled as well. And I know that it's that annoying whistle that it's almost like I tease people. So I know he's got that personality, that side to him as well.
Thank you, Phil. All right, friends who understands this information, you might need to think back, have a think, and let us know. Press your raise hand button. Well, we have both Stacy and Jamie with their hands raised.
So I just feel that I want that military connection. I want that army connection with him. I also feel here with him, it feels where Dad and this gentleman would have known each other, though, because I can't separate them. So they must have known each other.
All right. One hand went down. We have Jamie with her hand raised. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, how are you?
Great,
hello,
thanks.
Jamie. Do you understand everything I've said?
I do, just not the name for the father.
Not the name for the father, but the friend.
But the name makes sense, yes.
Okay, because I know there's something I can't change with that. Okay, and with your father, would you understand that he had that personality? He could tease you, he could wind people up.
Yes.
And it's almost like, and I say this in a positive way, because it just feels where I want to do it in a jovial way, almost like wind people up. I know it bothers people, but I keep on doing it.
Yes, he was like that.
Because I keep on getting that sense with him as well. But he must have been in the armed forces, the military, the army.
Not him.
Say again, sorry?
He was not, but there is a connection.
There is a connection, because I know it all comes together here. But I'm just going to stay with your dad for a second. Would I also be right in saying he was a gentleman that could be quite strong-minded and stubborn?
Yes, I believe he was. Yeah.
Because I know there's a sense with him of not changing anything, and it's either his way or the highway. He's not somebody you could coerce easily.
He definitely didn't like change at all.
Because I know I've got to think about it and go through it, and it's got to be my decision as well.
Yeah.
But if I also said that he could be, there's a side to him that also could be quite quiet.
Yes, absolutely.
Because again, as I'm trying to push that little bit more with him, there's a quietness. So I know he has that strong side, but I also know he's very diligent in where he engages and what he says as well. And it's not just about talking in general. I do believe he's very particular in who he chooses to spend time with.
I would say yes, yeah.
Because I also know he watches things, takes things in before he engages as well. And I know he likes to get to know people before he lets his guard down with them.
Yes, I can see that.
And I also feel as well, where I want to say that he loved to spend time with you and the family.
Yes.
Because I know he's very much a family man, and it's almost where I want to say he could want you, bear with me, and I want to say he was good with children.
Yes.
Because it's almost where I can come down to that level and engage with them. And I know he would have liked the family get-togethers.
Yes.
Because and there must be where he used to go down memory lane. So I know usually it's the fairer sex that goes through photographs, but I know your dad liked to look at the photographs as well.
That I don't remember, but
bear with me. Would I be right, because I want to stay with this for a second, would I be right in saying that you have a lot of old photographs, black and white ones?
Not a lot, no, but I do have one.
Okay, because I know there's acknowledging the black and white, but it feels like I've gone through photographs quite recently.
Yes, I can take that.
Because again, there's a sense here where he's around watching over you. So I know there's still an essence with you, Jamie, where you still converse with your father in the spirit world.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And would I also be right in saying you also have a gentleman friend in the spirit world that passed very quickly?
Yes.
And it's almost where I want to talk. And would I be right in saying it's husband, Jamie?
No. Close.
But I know he was close because he got that close connection. But again, there's a sense of loyalty, companionship, but also real kin friendship as well.
Yes.
And it's almost where I want to say with this friend, this other gentleman, there's a sense of loyalty there. And I know he would have shared and confessed things to you.
Yes.
And I know it's about those secrets and those memories that he would have shared, because he's very diligent who he shares them with.
Yeah. Yeah, I can take that.
Because again, but I also feel that you would have seen him not long before he passed.
Yes.
And I also know he would have shared things with you at that meeting before he passed.
I can understand that, yeah.
Because again, there's a sense of trust with you, and that sense of I can share and I can offload as well. And I know both of them are here as well. But where the name John fits in as well, would it be right in saying that's a friend?
No.
I'm going to hold that because I feel I've got somebody else coming forward here. So I'm just going to hold that back a second. But I know I've got your dad and this gentleman, that friend of yours that come very close to you, that it's almost where you've been asking certain things of the spirit world for that upliftment and that change in life.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you very much for allowing me to do that. And I'm going to move on to the next contact as well. That's fine. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The thing is here, ladies and gentlemen, I keep on hearing this name shouted out. So somebody must either have either brother or somebody very close by the name of John in the spirit world, because I keep on hearing it being called out.
All right. See, just looking for someone who has a John in the spirit world?
No, it's either brother, somebody very close to them.
All right.
Because I can't change this.
Okay.
So there's a
Kip
couple of hands
and
going up.
Brenda,
That's fine.
yes.
That's fine. Okay. Bear with me a second. And I just feel with this gentleman, I want to say that he is brother. I keep on getting brother with it as well. So, but this makes sense to Brenda and Kip.
Yes.
It does. And would you understand with your brother, Kip, that he was a man that spoke his mind, said it like it was?
Yes.
And if I said, because there's some things here I can't repeat, if I also said that some of the language isn't politically correct?
Correct.
Because again, I get this sense here with him. But with your brother as well, if I said that I can't say, I'm going to change his words. If I said that he was a man that really didn't worry about what other people thought.
Absolutely.
Because again, here, when I acknowledge the politically correct words, I'm getting more of them. So I know it's that sense of, and I don't want to repeat them. I'm not saying he overdid it, but I know he's impressing upon me this sense of I can't say that, bothered about what people think. But I also feel with your brother that I want to say he carried some of the old-fashioned traditions on, like hunting and things.
I can take all the old-fashioned traditions, but not hunting.
Okay, then my mind's creeping in then. Would you understand with your brother where the old-fashioned traditions are? It's almost like where I want to say people's actions were very important. And almost like if I said something, I will do it.
Correct. Yep.
My word is my bond as well. And would I also be right in saying with your brother, where his thoughts were concerned, he was very strong and he wouldn't change his opinion?
Absolutely.
And he would argue and, in fact, I'm going to change that. He would debate that, but he wouldn't back down.
Correct.
And there must be memories where you would have seen him with people and thought, oh my God, this is going to get out of hand.
Yes.
Because again, I keep on getting this impression, but I also feel that it's not just about family. I feel it's politics as well.
Oh, yes.
Because I'm not going to go into political things at the moment, but I'm seeing all that, and he would have a field day with what's going on.
He would.
And again, there's an impression here. I will voice my opinion. I will say it because it's mine. It's almost like he's got a self-worth about him, and he's got an opinion, and people need to hear it.
Yes.
I want to go back to the no that I got, though, about hunting. Would I be right in saying that it wasn't him, but somebody else did it?
Yes.
And would I be right in saying that he would have voiced his opinion on it?
Yes.
Almost like I don't agree.
I'm not sure about that part.
Because there's something that there is. If I said, I know that some people look at it as a sport. With your brother, though, I don't feel that that's correct. It feels like it's a necessity. And the opinion I keep on hearing is very much not overdoing it. So I know there was that ethics to his thought and suggestions to whoever did the hunting.
That's correct.
That's because I know I keep on being made aware of it as well. Now, if I said with your brother, ethics and morals were very important?
Sometimes.
Because it just feels where I want to go back to those traditions, things had to be done right in the family.
That is correct. Yeah.
And it's almost where I want to pay my respects to the elders and do things accordingly.
Yes.
And it feels the way that I'm talking, he would be quite methodical and everything.
Yes.
And I want to go back to what I also said about my word is my bond as well. So I know here there's a real sense of in the family where it comes to if we agree to do something, we follow it through.
That's correct. Yep.
And I know this is what he seems to be bringing back to you about ethics and morals and standing grounds to your truth and doing it from the right intent as well.
Thank you.
With that, I'm going to bear with me. You must have a photograph displayed in your house of your brother.
Yes.
And you must talk to it, Kip.
I have.
Because I know here is acknowledging that and is around you a lot as well. So I'm going to leave his love with you and say thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
Good. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Drink.
Yep.
Okay. Good. That's fine. I've just got a really strange impression in my mind. As I become aware of the spirit world once more, it feels where I want to talk about a gentleman in the spirit world who would have worked as a window cleaner. So I know he would have had his own business, but I also feel he's a bit of a character, a bit of a loner. And again, I just feel that, when we have a business like this, it's almost where we would live in the same area or have houses close together. It feels where I want to acknowledge where he would have traveled. It's almost like a not thought out, but it's almost like I do it for friends. So I know somebody would understand a gentleman in the spirit world that would have been a window cleaner. And I'm also aware as I connect with him, the name of Peter as well. So I've got Peter, and I do believe it should be his name.
Thank you very much, Phil. All right, friends, who understands this gentleman, please press your raise hand button.
It's really peculiar because it's actually, as I'm waiting for somebody to come forward, I know that I want to be in the United Kingdom with this as well. So I know I'm in England or UK.
I feel everybody thinking, but no hands are raised.
The way I want to look at this, because I'm just going to work through it, I'm not going to change it. It just feels here, if I've got it wrong with his name, the person I want to speak to would know of a Peter in the spirit world.
Nobody yet.
Somebody's not putting their hand up.
Rosemary says she can take the window cleaner only.
Only, okay. Let me just have a look at this just for a second here, because I do feel, and there's not a Peter or anyone in our congregation that would know a window cleaner in the spirit world. I want to look at this in different ways before I drop the name, because I did hear it. I was aware of it. No. Okay. Nobody's coming forward here. In fact, I need people to think about this because I know somebody's put in the chat, clean blinds. No, it's not. It's windows. I can see the chamois and everything. So bear with me. Somebody's put their hand up.
Rachel. Oh, Rachel? Keep your hand raised, Rachel. There we go. Rachel, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Hello. You understand
hi.
this, Rachel?
So I understand a Peter in spirit, and I also am aware of a window cleaner in spirit, but I didn't personally know him very well.
That's fine, okay. But you didn't know him that well, and it's Rachel Arnold, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I thought I recognised the voice. So again, because I did feel like it was the United Kingdom again. But even though you're saying you didn't know the window cleaner too well, if I said he could be a little bit different, would you understand?
Yes.
Because I know there's a quietness, there's a different about his mindset as he comes forward here. And again, it feels like, and again, I do believe you when you said you didn't know him too well, because it feels like he's travelled in, he's not local, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was from over the Pennine, so it would
That's
be
fine, because
yeah.
it's really strange. And the bit that I was questioning was, why are you cleaning windows in a area? It's almost like you shouldn't be in. So I know it's that distance he's travelled, but again, it's just his mindset. And I do feel he was that person that was that dependable, though. And I know it was all about work and doing and reputation, even though you don't know a great deal about him. But I also believe here, Peter, though, you should know.
Yeah, I know Peter, yes.
That's fine. And with Peter, would you understand where, again, he's a character, but a different kind. He's more jovial.
Yes.
And it's almost like I'm very down to earth as well. I say it like it is.
Yes.
And if I said, and he talked with quite a strong accent.
Yeah, I could see why you would say that, yes.
Because I'm hearing the old-fashioned accent, Yorkshire accent or Lancashire accent, one of the two, because it's very similar. But I know he was that man that spoke his mind, and I know he was very well respected as well.
He was, yes.
Because I know when he spoke a truth and he made sense. I also feel as well, though, with Peter, he was quite well known.
Yes, I'd say so, yes.
Because again, it feels like I'm in the community, I'm quite well known, and people respected me as well. You would understand the name of Arthur in the spirit world.
Not that I can think of right now. I'm not that I'm aware of, no.
You will in a minute, hopefully, because again, I just feel that that's there. Would I also be right in saying that Mum is in the spirit world as well, Rachel?
Yes.
And with your mum, would I be right in saying Dad's also in the spirit world?
No.
Then bear with me. Your dad, who's still living there, must have connections to either the round table or charity things. As you think about it, just bear with me. Would I be right in saying, though, that your mum would know gentlemen such as not this window cleaner, but others, but also men from business backgrounds?
Not particularly, no.
Almost where I want to know, there must be with your mum where she had either an involvement in charity at some point.
No, that would be me.
Ah, that's you. Bear with me. No. It seems like your mum, and the only way I can say this is very much where she would, I know she would associate with either or no business people that would have had their own businesses, almost like she knew people that could get things done for her.
Her brother has his own painting business.
No, it's more than that, because I've got other professions here and I'm trying to work through it before I go into it all.
And my dad is in the profession as well, so he knows builders, sparkies, plumbers.
Okay, because I know. Oh no, that's fine. Because I know here I've got all these different possessions, and I want to go back because I thought it was with your dad originally, but your dad's still here. Then would you understand where your mum would want things to be almost perfect around the house?
Yes.
And you want things done, and if you can't do it, we get somebody in to do it.
Yes.
But it's almost where I want to get it done on the cheap, or know somebody that could get it done cheap.
Well, that was my dad's mentality, but it never gotten done.
Okay, because again, it is just Mum's making me aware of that mentality, but also she brought in that other about the money as well. So I know there's that essence here of, how can I put this? It's almost like getting things done. And would I be right in saying around you, Rachel, the things need doing as well?
Yes.
because I know this is why Mum's making me aware of all these things and people we know to almost touch base as well. But again, she makes me aware that she was a very proud lady and wouldn't accept help unless she asked for it.
Absolutely.
But the help she would ask for was be to those electrical or DIY things. It would never be personal help.
Not until it was later on in her life, yeah.
Because I know here Mum's acknowledging that personal side with yourself, okay? And again, she's acknowledging the same mindset as her for yourself as well.
Yeah.
Okay. I am, and I don't often do this because Mummy keeps on shouting out that name of Arthur as well. So I know there should be Arthur that will remember. So get back in touch with me afterwards about that, because I know she keeps on bringing it in here. And I know with your mum, once she gets a bit of a bee in her bonnet, she doesn't back down either.
No.
Because again, here she keeps, and she's very adamant about it as well. And if I said that impressions counted with your mum as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because where I mentioned the window cleaners, she's mentoring your windows as well. So again, here, it's almost like she had an eye for detail and she would notice things that needed doing. Yep. So yeah. I'm going to leave her love with you and say thank you for allowing me to do that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure to work with you all again. Pleasure to work with Kerry and Sandra. And I'm going to hand back to the lovely Sandra Champlain.
Oh, thanks so much, Phil. And thank you so much, Kerry. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we all want our loved ones to come through. We do. On our Sunday gathering, really, it's trusting that just like you see Kerry, Phil, and myself, we're representatives of people alive. These few folks just come through to say, we're still with you. We're still very much alive. So anyways, just trust that they are there and keep them in your life. Some announcements we have. First of all, if you're somebody who's really suffering with grief, we're sending you so much love. You can always respond back to one of my emails and write. Also, if you don't yet have a copy of my book, We Don't Die, if you've ever purchased anything at wedon'tdie.com, you will have a copy of my book in your personal library when you log in there. But you can also just put your name and email address on that front page down towards the bottom. It says you get the first few chapters of my book. It's really the whole thing. Chapter 10 is all about grief. And I think it's the most important chapter, really, to give some understanding of what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, what's in your control, what the mind is doing, just to give you some peace. Okay. So that is there for you. Our good friends, Kerry and Phil, I just want to mention, their website is mymediumship.com. We can always see good things coming up. They'll be in the United States in October. If anyone wants to join them live, you may enjoy that. It's called the Tri-State Gathering. Also, I just uploaded on wedon'tdie.com 2 new classes with them beginning September 25th and September 26th. On the Wednesday, we have 6-session classes with Kerry and Phil. The Wednesday begin Contact with the Soul, your psychic connection. So our psychic sense is the foundation of mediumship and everything. Very cool class. And on Thursdays, it is Unlock Your Mediumship, Deepening the Story of the Communicator. So again, wedon'tdie.com. Just click on the store page. You can find everything. Tomorrow, myself and medium Scott Milligan, we start a class called Trance and the Altered States. Way different kind of class. There's no breakout rooms. It is just a very gentle class. Much time spent with your eyes closed, doing a gentle blend with the love from the unseen world. Tuesday, Scott offers Sitting for the Power Hour, which is like a spiritual recharge. Sunday, Darren will be back, and we have guest medium Dominic Bogue with us. I also have 2 brand new podcast episodes on We Don't Die. You can hear about the near-death experience of Ellen Weir, and then her passion of connecting to the divine love through music. And And then on Shades of the Afterlife, I just decided to lighten things up a little. So it's the lighter side of the afterlife. There are certainly some stories of near-death experiences and beautiful deathbed visitations, but also some funny things that have happened at funerals. I just thought we all needed a laugh. So you can find everything and more at wedon'tdie.com. That's the home base. And to register for next Sunday or watch past Sunday gatherings, you can click on the Sunday gathering page there. Also, there's a donate button there, which I know several of you have used. I want to thank everyone who has financially contributed to our Sunday gathering. You don't have to. It does help to keep it going, keep on keeping on, as they say. So we do really appreciate those of you who have helped fund our Sunday gathering. Just a few last minute words on this topic of gratitude and blessings. Like I said earlier, it is human nature to look for what's wrong as opposed to what's right. So yes, like brushing our teeth, we can say before we go to bed at night and when we wake up in the morning, I'm going to practice a few things that I'm grateful for. Just share them. And the more you start thinking about them and even talking to another person about them, suddenly they'll bounce their gratitude things back at you. And suddenly you'll be two people feeling grateful. I have witnessed that good things show up in our life when we are grateful. So, you know how they say when we get to the spirit world, we think something and voila, it is there, a rainbow, a hot fudge sundae, whatever it may be, your loved one traveling to Egypt, seeing the pyramids. I think good things happen and we're the same souls and we have power. And I think what fuels that power is our gratitude. So I'm just going to leave you with that for the week to ponder. So I'm going to turn it over to Phil for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time to go back within that divine silence once more. If you can close your eyes and think of your loved ones in this moment. Great infinite power, we thank you for that blessing of love, that blessing of being reunited with our loved ones, but also reunited with the joys of life. And that week that we have coming up, as we can remember those blessings we have in our lives, and we can rejoice within those thoughts. And as we smile and as we are happy with those blessings, Father, we ask for that light to shine upon our heads, to light that way, and let us find that truth of light, that blessing of what life is all about. Amen.
Thank you so much, Phil, and thank you, Kerry, and thank you to those of you wherever you are in the world. We are connected, I know, through the internet, but we are a very real community all over the world. And of course, thank you to our friends in spirit. They're always so close. Our closing song is just a little bit more gratitude and a few more smiles, but it's really got some powerful words. Let's listen. Oh, thank you all for being here today. We read every message in that chat box, so thank you for writing them. And my face hurts a little bit from smiling today. Anybody else? All right. Love you all. Love you, Kerry and Phil. See you all soon. Bye.